Now then, hope you're all okay on the YouTube community. This is Zach coming from Dave&ZacEnt. I thought I'd come on here, and seeing as this channel is all about entertainment and it's not just about gaming, rants and whatnot, there's going to be a few other things that the channel supports and that we're going to be doing on here. I thought I'd come on and do a basic tune for people that are using Fruityloops, that have just got the program and that are just getting to grips with it, and are just getting to understand how to make a basic sound and going through tutorials. I'm just going to show you a song, a tune, a piece of music that I've been working on. This is no way near finished, but I'll give you maybe inspiration to make a little piece of music yourself. Basically, I'll play a little bit of this and then I'll take you through setting up your own tune bit by bit by bit. This live stream will probably be going for maybe, I don't know, an hour and a half, so bear with me. And if you come in the live stream now, then obviously you're going to get it, but obviously I'll repeat this later on during the live stream, that if they haven't, go back to the beginning to get the information. So this tune is called Dave&ZacEnt 1. This is going to be a piece of music that's going to be used on the channel quite a lot, but I want it to be right, and obviously Dave wants it to be right, so I'm going to play this at the current speed that it was at. I'm going to put it back to its original speed, and then if anyone's on the stream actually saying I should check the stream, top chat, no one's talking. Hello, whoever's watching, thank you for joining. Right, so let's play this. Let's put the mic up a bit and I'll shut up. No, might help if I start at the beginning, won't it? Right, turn it off there, because I've heard the tune about 50 million times so far, because I've been the one making it, obviously. That's the only monotonous thing about making music, is the musician, after he's finished, starts off liking the music, yeah, likes it, but don't really enjoy it as much as what everyone else likes it, because obviously they've only heard it for the first time fully made, and they either like it or they don't like it. So this is one of the things that you get with the monotony of making music. Now there's another one I have on here that is, let me just find it, and save changes, that I have on here that I made a couple of weeks ago, week and a half ago. It's kind of lose track of time when you're making music, and this is called U4Eyes. That's what it stands for, U4Eyes, because I wear glasses. U4Eyes, AI, I, endless possibilities. Now this was, I actually do like this tune. It's a really relaxing tune. This one I listen to when I fall asleep, and it helps me fall asleep. So it's actually one of those tunes that I really enjoy doing. But at the time that I was making this tune, I was in a really high spiritual mood anyhow. So I kind of, the temperament that you make music in usually dictates the kind of music that you're going to produce. So obviously if you're feeling pissed off, you're going to make not so happy music. If you're feeling really loved up, you're going to make really chilled out music. So bear in mind that the music that you make is based upon how you feel at the current time. So I'll play this one and I'll shut up again. Right, so that one actually I enjoy, I really like listening to, and that one I still enjoy listening to, even though it was only a couple of weeks I've made it, and I've listened to that every single night pretty much to help me fall asleep, and it really does, it's really effective. So it does matter how you make music. It does matter the feeling that you have and how you are at that current time as to what kind of music that you produce. Now you might say, well, I want to make a nice tune, I want to make an ambient chill out track, and you might feel happy at the time. You might think that you feel happy, but if you're not quite happy and you're just kind of just content, but you're not over spiritually kind of invigorated and full of energy, then the music that's going to come out is not going to be happy. It's going to be based upon the mood that you're in. So this is why I say to people over the years, when I speak to them, that the reason why musicians take drugs is because they want to elevate their mood into that realm of love and happiness and joy, and then make music. This is why music that we listen to and that we really, really like and think, oh, this really gives me a good beat. And you know, you feel invigorated from listening to the music. So because they're in a happy mood. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the basics of making your own tune. Now, bear with me, because this is going to be quite a long-winded introduction. Well, not introduction, a long-winded method, as I take a little bit of a long way about doing things. So first of all, what I tend to do is start with a bass line. So I get a basic bass, which is the boo bass, and then what I do, put my keyboard on, because right, so I'm using the normal keyboard, you know, your QWERTY keyboard, not the MIDI keyboard. So if you click this this icon here, it says at the top over here in this area, you'll see it will say typing keyboard to piano keyboard, right? So that turns your QWERTY normal keyboard. You can press the S, W, A, F, G, H, and it'll give you different keys, right? So then what I do is I set the tone that I want. I want really bassy, really bassy. And then I go into here and I set the volume. So I change the volume down because I don't want that too high. And then sometimes I might want it to pan, so I might pan it between that, and then I'll change the pan to there, which will give you kind of like more of a right hand side, but it will pan from the left hand, it will pan to the left hand side as well. And then what you do, give it a bit more volume, and it'll give it a stereo sound, so you'll hear it in both your ears, but you'll not only hear it in both your ears, you'll hear it right in the center of your head. This is how you know you can find stereo. It's one of the things that I found really difficult when I first used Fruityloops making music, was mastering. I find that if I master the track, I master the individual instrument straight away, then when it comes to mixing down the track to a music, it doesn't sound warped, it sounds stereo, and it sounds nice. It's not like, oh heck, I've listened to that 20 times now and it just doesn't seem to sound right. I find that if you sort all this out to begin with, it makes life a lot easier. So now we've done that, we assign it a mixer track, and what it'll do is it'll put it down here. So we assign it a free mixer track, and there you have it. It's giving you boo bass right there. So when I press the boo bass, it's giving you a signal, so you know how loud it is. Right, so then you can change your volume that you want, because your bass is quite a deep sub sound, and you tend to always hear the bass no matter how high or low it is. Right, so we've got the bass set, we've got the actual temp, we've got the sound volume pretty much done. We can get rid of this, so we don't need that very much anymore. This will come in handy at a later stage, because you've got polyphony and you can make it mono. You can change all that, but that'll come in useful later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come into the piano roll. Now the piano roll is basically the instrument track. So that's all your keys. Yeah, on the side, and obviously it goes full screen. But what you can do if you don't want it to go full screen is you can double click this bar. this top bar here and it'll make it bigger or smaller, or you can click this button here and make it bigger, and you can click it again, make it go smaller. Drag it from the bottom to do what you want to put it. You can also use this little thing here. That will make the keys bigger or smaller. So if you want more space, obviously less space, more space. But obviously you can't see that good. So if your eyes are good, then pretty good. But I tend to work around roughly within a key and a half or so of each other. So I've got like basic a basic bass line that has been used quite regularly is this one. So you type in individual keys all the way down to the end, because this box here and then this darker color signifies the next bar. Obviously you've got 4 bars, yeah, so you keep on clicking them in. And as we play it, it'll sound like this. Right, so then now what we can do, there's your basic bass line in there. Now, just to give it an idea of what it sounds like, I'm going to put a kick in it. Yeah, obviously it needs to be a little bit longer because that's only 4 bars. So what we can do, because this is 8 bars, this is the full 4 bars and this is just 1 bar of the 4, we can grab this little icon here, this little thing here, and we can put it up to 8, which will now give me the full bar. No, it won't. Alright then. We'll go up to 16. See, I'm getting to grips with this. Right, so. Yeah. Sounds a bit pants, doesn't it? So, take all that out. So we'll get I'll get a hi-hat in there. I'm going to get this wrong as well, aren't I? Right, so you can add individual bass bars, right? So obviously, like I say, this is the boring bit. This is the bit that really does your head in because it's the start of the tune and you haven't got anything. This is the bit that most people go, oh, I can't cope with this. I'm going, it's just too much. But this is the only thing about making music. It's not all bells and whistles. Right, so. Right, so now once we've got that in, you've got these functions, right? So these functions here, it says graph editor and keyboard editor. For all the information, it's going to all appear here. All of everything, all of the explanations for things are all going to appear in this little box here. So if you ever run your mouse over the screen anywhere, it'll tell you here, right? Play, see it as it goes through it all. Right, so if I click on here, it shows you graph editor. A graph editor is what allows you to change the volume of each individual sound. So I'm going to put that to there. You'll see how it'll change its sound. You don't have to worry about all the other ones that aren't clicked because they're silent already. You just click all the individual ones that are enabled. Right, so what we could do, just to highlight the sound, right, so all of the ones that are higher will make them high, and all the ones that are lower will make them low. Right, all the ones in between will make roughly the same height. Right, so this is like its individual keyboard. It's like a graphic equalizer you could think of for each individual symbol sound that you have. So let's put that one back down there, and that one up there. These individual ones there. That one down. That one up. And that. That one down. That one up. Alright then. That one down. That one there. And that one there. Right, so it accentuates. Right, so I'll give you another demonstration of what you can do with the hi-hats, because the hi-hats are quite important in a tune. You don't really want them sounding out of freak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click them all in there. Obviously it's going to sound like that, right, which is quite annoying. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put each in half one down. So now it's going to sound like this. Right? So you think, it's still quite loud, so right? Do one slightly higher. Yeah. Notice how it changes the sound altogether. Yeah, totally different sound, isn't it? You know, actually sounds like a decent enough hi-hat sound. Yeah. Once you've got that mastered, you're pretty much sorted, because most of the drum beats that you get on music nowadays is all, you know, you get a lot of hi-hat, don't you? So there's the hi-hat. I'm not sure whether it's coming in there very loud, so actually I should probably turn that down, because this is only for function. You can get there eventually, I suppose, won't I? Hopefully it's not too loud. So yeah, you've got the sound of the hi-hat sounds pretty alright. It doesn't sound like constant, the same old sound. So now what we'll do is I can go back into this one, right? So, and I just select them all. Obviously it's going to sound like that again, isn't it? Yeah, so now what I do is I go into here and I put all the rest of them down. And what you do that, you can do that by dragging, holding your right mouse button and selecting with your right mouse button and dragging it, allow you to do that. Obviously if you select with your left mouse button, it'll give you the wavy lines, right? So you can pretty much create your own sound that you want to create. So let's just right, if you wanted, you could start off from, hang on, let me just do the right button. obviously from the top down. Yeah. Think of it as like a mountain of sound going down, and as you shout, as the sound goes down, you don't hear it as much. Right? So obviously now I don't want that to sound like that, so I'm going to put all of them down there to the start with. Actually I'm not, I'm going to put them all to there to start with, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the individual ones actually so I put all of the third ones up. We'll get this right. My brain's not working very well at the moment. It always does this with music. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in between, 1, 2, 3 in between. So that one wants to be full. That one wants to be full. That one. 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 See, with music, your head kind of gets stuck in a place, because what I find, I'm short-sighted as well. I wear glasses, and when I'm making music, my eyes phase out. It's like my eyes are no longer needed anymore, and for some reason my brain just kind of fizzes out. It's like, what's going on? When I play my guitar, it does exactly the same. I take my glasses off, or I have my glasses on, and I'm listening to music, and it's like my eyes switch off, like I go bug-eyed. Right? See the sound it's starting to sound like? It sounds a little bit better than constantly in your head. So I'll just finish up doing these. So there we have roughly the beat. Yeah. Now if you wanted, you could put a snare in there. No, put it in the right place. Obviously change that again if you wanted. Obviously if you want to put other beats in there, so you can change the entire see how it changes. So then you don't have to do all that, obviously. And then you've also have this, which is the key. If you want to change it, watch what happens. You can change the actual key of the you really can mess around with the sound. Yeah. It sounds mental, doesn't it? Right, so we've got that set as your first basic track. So I was getting carried away with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the original track of the bass of the bass line. So what I'm going to now do is, now I've got a drum beat, it sounds all whacked out. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab this bar here and I'm going to drag it left click, and then if you press the E button, hang on, no, it's not right, sorry, no, take that away, unclick this first and then press the E button, the mouse turns from the pen icon into the select icon, and you can select all of the box by dragging and left clicking, drag left clicked, let go, and then if you press the P button it puts it back to the pencil. Don't click, press Control and X to cut and it'll take it out of there. Obviously it's disappeared, and then I'm going to put that into track 10. Why? Because I want all of the other track 9s to be drums, because you want different types of drums in there. It's going to sound boring if you've got the same drum. So once you've brought up the piano roll, and you do that by right clicking on the track, on the instrument, and selecting piano roll, it brings that up. And then what you do is you press Control and V and it'll put it back in. So now you have that in track 10 and not in track 1. Yeah, so now in there it's just, yeah. Yeah. Right, so now we have that all the way up there. So now we can work on a piece of music to go with that. So what we'll do is we'll go in there, I'll add maybe a piano. So we'll add a piano. So now I'll click that button again to bring up my piano. And you get the sound of it now. Yeah, and then that sounds a bit pants. So I'm going to right click on this little area and it brings up what you've got. If you left click, it selects each individual one. Yeah. But if you right click, it brings up them all. And I like concert piano. And I also like, where has it gone? That piano. That's quite nice. Right click on the piano roll, select piano roll. Now if you wanted, because your brain might be slow like mine, and you might think, I need inspiration from the same tune I've got, you could come back in here, press Control and A to select all, press Control and C to copy, right click on your piano roll, Control V to paste, and then you've got the piano. Right, so then if you wanted, you could Control A, to change. Right? So now that's in the key of G in C, so I'm going to add a few more instruments. It's mess around doing this. So as you can see, you can add instruments. Now, some people, they like to do it basic, straight from scratch. They're more theoretical than most. I like to do things creatively. So I'm hearing it because not guaranteed that the song that I have in mind to make is actually the song that I actually want to make. Sometimes I find that the tune that I'm making morphs into a myriad of a million different other tunes, and I come back to it and think, oh, that wasn't the original tune I wanted to make, but that sounds flipping better than what I've done already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out altogether. I'm going to take all of it out by right clicking, holding the right mouse button, and just running over these, because it just acts like an eraser. So we've got the where does that one come from? Oh, there it is. Right, so so that we've got, that's a pretty decent sound, so that sounds alright. What I'll do is I'll select all that. No, because I like that. And then what I'll do, seeing as that's in that one, I'll put that one in track 20, right? Because that's where all the instruments start. Obviously I might want 10 different bass lines, yeah. So if you work on the construct of 10 tracks for drums, 10 tracks for bass lines, 10 tracks or maybe 20 tracks for instruments, you'll find that life will be a lot easier when it comes to making money. So not money, fucking stupid, music. Yeah. So now to add all of that together, what we've got, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here and add a bass line. This is where this comes in, this thing, right? So whichever one that you pick, that's going to be the track that you put in. So if I put in there, click one in, helps if I'm at the beginning. Obviously if I'm on track 1 and I click there, it's going to pattern 10, right? And obviously pattern 10 is the start, so you want that to be track 1. And some people work by doing pattern 10 on track 10 because it helps with keep it the same. Track 10, pattern 10, you know, it works the same. So, and we'll go on that basis. That helps with me. Sometimes I can be contrary and use completely different track methods, so it confuses the crap out of people that come to play my music so that they don't copy it. So we'll put that there, And what we'll do is we'll change this from pattern to song. As this is the song list, notice it changes from that would usually be in the pattern. So we click that, there's that thing there, see that little thing? That's in the pattern, but when we click song it disappears. Notice it comes back, we put it in the pattern. So when we click it on the song, it appears here. So this is where that bar is. So obviously it's going to play the bar, right? And we just add patterns to it. And then we want to go back to one. When it gets to the end, it will go back to the beginning. Right, stick a track in there of the drum beat. Then we'll go to the instruments. Yeah, so what we can do now, I can select all them, put all them in there. What's going on Now if you wanted, you could just grab the individual boxes with the left click and slide it. And if I just wanted to keep that bit of the end, see that bit of the end, that's there, that little bit, that doodle at the end, I just drag that and then drag it to there. And then I can select it and click it again. So even though you've made the individual drum beat, you can change the drum beat. Yeah. Right, so now we've got a basic tune start with a drum beat. Now, this were those three things, and it's not very much to start with right now. And it isn't really when you think about what is going on. We haven't really made much. We haven't really done very much. But this is where it gets interesting. So now we can go back to track 1 and we can come into this little box. Move it all the way. And we can come into the function. So now if I just make that the only track by right clicking on the little box, not anywhere else because it won't work. You've got to get your mouse right on that green dot, right click and select solo, and it'll unmute the others, so you just get the, yeah. Now what we can do is we can give it a feed. Yeah. That's going to pan it. Notice it's panning between the ears. Now if we put that back to there, it's going to pan it more to the left and right. Yeah? You can hear it bouncing between your ears, can't you? Between the middle, the left, the middle and the right. Yeah? Well, guess what? You can do the very same thing with the hi-hats. Yeah, that was really freaky, that, isn't it? Right, so we'll just solo that again, unsolo it. Right. So we'll go into the instrument now. The instrument is what's going to give us the freakiness. Right, so what we'll do is we'll click the piano and we'll come into here, give it an arpeggiator. We'll give it 2 ranges and we'll make it random. Ready? So I'm going to stop that. That's sounding even more mental than it originally started. So let's now come into here, and so we're in the mixer track. We've got a boo bass. Now what we need to do, because we haven't actually assigned drum rolls for this, we need to go into here, into each kick, assign it a drum roll, so we'll put it next to it, and then obviously do the next one. We don't need the clap because that's rubbish, so we'll remove that. Select the hat, assign a free mixer track. I don't know why it stuck it there, but never mind. Snare can go assign. Okay, then it's back to front, but never mind, I can work with that. Piano, assign a free mixer track. Okay then, so maybe it does it via the first instrument. Okay then, so insert the first one. So we have 1, 2, 3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into here and I'm going to change each individual one. So we've got the drums. So if I play it, only them ones. And I click it here. Yeah, only the kicks will work. So now we can come into here, make it solo, and then we can change how much bass we want it to have. So it really does have a frequency. Yes, it really does pound into your ears. Right. And then we're going to give it a bit of compression. Slight bit of compression, and we'll give it yeah. Right, so now we need to untick that one, solo that one, and we'll give that some reverb. And we'll put it in drum room. Yeah. So there. And to give that some EQ. No, we don't need to use that one. That's the wrong one. Parametric EQ, that's the one. It's like a graphic equalizer. Back on the tune. Actually, I don't like that. Put that piano. And there you have it. So that is a basic tune in the making. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save that as basic tune, and and I'm going to call it YouTube basic tune. Type it right. Set up lesson 1 here. So I remember that I made the tune, because I might come back in, I know, I'll do lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, and then at some point forget that I've done, because I don't listen to these very often, and then a year down the road I'll play the tune and think, oh, do you know, I can add something else to that, and ba-da, song comes out. So you never know. If you want to make use of these tracks, you can do yourself. Bear in mind, please give me the credits if you do get inspiration from it. If you don't, well, hope you succeed in learning to use Fruity Loops. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial as I have enjoyed making it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is from Dave&ZacEnt. If you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button, and if you want to get notified of new videos and upcoming videos, click the bell button, and if you want to talk to any of us, just message us. I'm pretty sure we'll get back to you. Please leave a message in the message box if you've got anything to ask regarding the question. If you're a seasoned Fruity Looper and you're seasonal Fruity Loopy, then you might be able to help me on a few things as well. Thanks for listening and watching. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.